Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are listening or watching this in the world. Welcome to Chat with Matt. It's great to have you with us. Now, today we're going to be joined by James Barton. James is the CTO for ETS Labs and also a thought leader around usage of technology, particularly in learning. So I'm delighted to for you to join me today. James, good afternoon.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Very, very well, thank you. I always start with the question, how are you?
I am well, thank you very much. I'm loving isolation. Lockdown is brilliant for us introverts.
Why does that not surprise me? Why does that not surprise me? So let's get into the questions because we keep these calls nice and short. The first question I've got for you is, there's loads of stuff going on in our marketplace, in the broader marketplace. What's your perspective about the opportunities that are being presented at the moment?
Well, I think there's two things that excite me the most. One is around analytics and our ability to start to move and change and create very, very individual learning experiences. Because I think what I've learned throughout of all of with one thing and another is that people want something that is individual to them. They don't like being sheep dipped. So that'd be number one. And secondly is all about augmented reality. I think that is going to be massive over the next 18 months or so.
Yeah, and I've definitely seen a shift in organisations who, don't want to do that sheep dip approach anymore because actually their people don't want to do it anymore. Why would you teach everybody the same thing when it's not required?
Exactly.
So, moving into augmented realities is a fascinating area. What's fascinating about what we're talking about today is you said, well, I want to do a chat with Matt around the future is unwritten. Give me a bit more on that.
Well, listen, we're about to break into a new phase of technology. So when we were thinking about iPhones, nobody knew what was going on. And then suddenly the iPhone came in and it just changed the way that we interact. It changes the way that we process stuff. Everything went mobile all of a sudden. We're about on the cusp of another change, and that is one into augmented reality. So with Apple's Glass that is coming out in 18 months or so, we're going to see another significant shift in the way that we interact with our technology. And that then brings huge amounts of opportunity for us to create product for our customers and also for ourselves as salespeople. So imagine, for example, the world of augmented reality is using a pair of glasses or whatever it's going to be. I'm going to be able to see things in my screen that you can't see. So imagine that if I've got information about who you are as an individual, what products you've bought beforehand, and maybe some sales tips actually in the conversation. So rather than having to go through sheep dip training, what we can actually do is provide training in the moment, actually in the conversation as part of the normal chat. How does that change how we do sales enablement? It is a complete paradigm shift to the way that we do things at the moment, but it also allows us to create really dynamic, interactive, value-driven conversations because we can make sure that what we're saying is truly resonating. Because they can even do things like scanning your face, and you look completely bored right now. So I should be changing what I say, because if it's reading your face, it should be going, James has got it wrong. What it should be doing is lighting you up, and you should be excited about what I'm saying. So it's the use of the cameras, the technology to scan people's faces, the augmented reality, so we can actually engage with people in a different way. I think it's going to be outrageous.
Do you think it's going to go as far as, let's say I'm sitting in a customer meeting or on a customer call, and you talk about the facial, the facial expression, and I'm being asked these difficult questions. Do you think it's going to be as sophisticated as saying it's going to give me a series of prompts in the moment that helps me generate a better conversation?
We can do that now in 2 dimensions. So there's no reason why we can't do it in 3 dimensions. Yeah. So some of the technology that I've already seen will do that now with a video cam without the augmented reality. So it's called artificial emotional intelligence. So what it's doing is reading my voice, it's reading your voice, it's reading your facial expressions, and then trying to generate, well, what does that mean? What am I saying, and is it engaging or not? And then it will ask you different prompts. And the more information it gathers about you, the cleverer it's going to get. So now, of course, you can see that as being, well, isn't that manipulative in some way? And I see it, no. What I see is it's actually adding more value back to you. Because if I can make sure that what I'm saying is resonating with you and you can see it clearly, then I'm more likely to get you the right solution as opposed to selling you the wrong product. That's my view.
So how does this relate to your futures unwritten?
Well, you're not going to write anything. Because so you imagine the old policy was, sheep dip training, maybe a learning journey, all
Yeah.
that. It's gone. It's gone. That's all changed. Suddenly you'll be able to sell and talk in the moment about products and services and see the prompts and see the value that you can bring immediately.
So
Now,
more
again,
agile.
if you look to what I think I wrote in one of my blogs, that the current amount of GDP but software is about 2%.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
so 2% of GDP is currently software. I think we're about to enter a completely new realm where that is just going to just escalate exponentially. I hate that word, but exponentially, because I think people are going to. It's become so much more the fabric of what we do day in, day out.
So it sounds to me more agile, more personal,
Yep.
more relevant,
Yep.
more now.
Yep. More fun.
More fun. Yeah, more fun too. Okay, that's good. Well, look, as we always do with these calls, just find out a little bit about you. What do you do to unwind? What do you do outside of your working time?
Well, Matt, I'm a nerd. So what do? I watch things like Star Trek, and I build models. I couldn't be any more stereotypically nerdy if I tried.
Sure, where to go from there, but if you could give one final thought as we sum this up around the future is still unwritten, what would be your one passing sentence for our listeners and our viewers?
So with augmented reality, we also have the opportunity to change the working space that we've got. Imagine a working space now. I've got two screens, but imagine that those screens were in front of your eyes, and you could look around. You've got all of these different screens. Now think of what's happening with people moving away from the workplace, the physical workplace, and suddenly they can actually be in an environment which is as close to reality as they want to be. That's going to change this whole concept of working from home. You could have as many screens as you want, and you could even sit next to your colleague, albeit them virtually, all in AR. That is going to change the way we work. Then think about how that's going to change the economics of the workplace and the cities where people used to go and work to. So all of the coffee shops and bars that fed off the working environments, suddenly that's going to have to change. Lots of big, large spaces inside large cities, that's going to change. It's a new world, my friend, a new world. It's very exciting.
Great. Well, we look forward to hearing more about it in the coming weeks and months ahead. Thank you very much. Please follow us on LinkedIn, Mental Group. Go to our website, mentalgroup.co.uk. Some of the blogs that James has talked about on there are within our website. Please go and read them. And thank you very much for taking the time out to watch and to listen to this today. James, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Matt. Been fun. Take care.
Cheers.